This is Steve Macaulay, and welcome to our argument essay outline for the IELTS Task 2. Right. Here's our question. Increasing the price of petrol is the best way to solve growing traffic and pollution problems. To what extent do you agree or disagree? What other measures do you think might be effective? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. So, first thing that we notice here is that it is an argument essay because it's an agree-disagree. Okay, meaning we're going to take one side of this argument. Now, what is the argument? Well, the argument is increasing the price of petrol is the best way to solve growing traffic and pollution problems. Therefore, it is about traffic problems and pollution problems. They argue that it's increasing the price of petrol is the best way, and if you put some thought into that, it doesn't take long to work out that that is not the best way, because that is a much more difficult approach to defend. So, we are going to argue against that. And we move forward. Well, there we are. What's the scope of the essay? What are we expected to write about? It is not about petrol prices. It's about how to improve the traffic and pollution. They are the paragraphs. So paragraph 1 will be traffic. Paragraph 2 will be pollution. And we're going to disagree with the statement. Okay, let's have a look at the traffic problem, because this is the first 3 to 5 minutes are the most important for you, because if you can create a well outlined plan, then it will make the writing of the essay much easier. Just rushing in and starting to write and hoping that it will come to you through inspiration is not the best way. It never is. And even though you think you might be saving what you believe to be valuable time, you're actually not. So, the traffic problem. How do we improve this problem? Well, the easiest thing to argue is that we should improve public transport. Whether or not you care about public transport is a complete and utter irrelevance. If you adore your car and will never, ever get on public transport, it doesn't matter, because you're there to write an IELTS essay. You're not there to give your opinion. And an example, well, there are several, but I'm based in Kuwait, so the example I would use is Dubai. But you may well be in, I don't know, Tokyo. They have some excellent public transport. Vienna has excellent public transport. London has reasonable public transport. But you can choose anywhere that has anything even remotely close to an effective public transport system. Okay, on. What about the pollution problem? How do we improve it? Well, the best thing is alternative fuels. So the electric car or solar car or anything. Now again here, it doesn't matter if the electric car, for example, we should have had them 20 years ago from what I understand, but it doesn't matter that they're not on the market now. They don't seem to be coming particularly quickly, and that's probably for other reasons, like the gas companies are making sure they don't turn up. But we're here just to write in a hypothetical style. So the example we'll use is a new car from Japan, which we don't know if anyone has actually made a new car in Japan, but nor does the examiner. And the fact of the matter is that someone probably has created a new car, and they've probably done it in Japan. And we will use that as our example. Now, we're going to write the introduction. The introduction is made up of 4 basic parts, which is the background, the detailed background, so that's you add to whatever your background statement is and give further details on it. Then you outline your argument, or thesis as it's often known, i.e. you say don't agree or do agree, and then you give a basic outline of the essay that you're about to write. Okay. So a very easy and it's very useful as a background statement is, over recent years, the issue or the issues of whatever it may be. Now here I've added something here because we don't just want to say growing traffic. If you happen to know that traffic congestion, then it's a brilliant place to put it, because that will be recognised by the examiner. And air pollution have become increasingly more important. Well, this applies to just about every essay that IELTS will give you. So, because everything has become increasingly more important, or it's become increasingly more controversial, or other such variants. But you can see those in another video that I made, which gives you alternatives to each of these. Okay, then our detailed background is, indeed, most major cities around the world are currently trying various methods to solve these problems. Okay, now we've done the background and the detailed background. Then we go to the argument or thesis. It is not agreed that raising the cost of petrol-based fuels is the best solution. Now, it is not agreed. It's just, in academic writing, it's preferred to avoid I. So in this case, we've gone for the classic, it is not agreed. Now, we've also changed, they gave us increasing, and we've changed it to raising, which is also another good idea, because you're introducing synonyms and showing the examiner that you understand what was given to you, but also that you don't just take what is given, you will change it where you can. Then we will lay out our outline. It will be argued that improving public transport systems and developing alternative fuels should help reduce the number of cars on the road and improve air quality. So in this sentence, we've given an outline that we're going to talk about improving public transport and alternative fuels, and there we have it. So in total, 75 words. That's about as much as you want to write for an introduction, but it's a lovely size, and that means that we're left with 250 minus 75, 175. And I think it's a very good idea to keep a check on your word count, because you don't want to write too much. And this way, we now are aware that we've got 175 words, so we ought really to be aiming at, well, if we wrote two 80-word paragraphs, we would then be left with approximately 15 to 20 words for the conclusion. So you could even drop that. You could even go to 70-word paragraphs, giving yourself around about a 40-word conclusion. Okay, moving. So, paragraph 1. Well, we introduce the subject, we give an example, then we discuss the example, and we do the mini conclusion. So we conclude that paragraph, that point. Okay. Well, I ended up with 100 words here, but it's just to outline what they can look like. All right. Every major city in the world has a problem with traffic congestion. We've introduced the statement. According to a recent report published by the United Nations, the traffic situation is at a critical level. So here we've given some further detail on the subject of traffic congestion. And this, according to a recent report published by, invariably you can use the United Nations, or you use the Ministry of whatever the subject might happen to be. And you can use the ministry in your country or in any other country for that matter. Because again, it's not about actual definite fact. And let's face it, we know that the United Nations has produced some report somewhere which says that traffic is at a critical level. We know it, even though we've never seen the report. Okay, the best solution would be better public transport. Very short, very concise, straight to the point. So now we've said that we're talking about public transport. For an example of excellent public transport, we need look no further than Dubai. Now that's an excellent sentence as well, because it's quality English and you can use it with all of your examples. There's slight variations on it, and they are available in the other video I mentioned about alternatives. Over the last 5 years, Dubai has invested billions of dollars into a new train system, and the city has seen a massive reduction in traffic congestion. Now, I suppose to some extent we could say here that I'm slightly overusing the congestion word, but it could have been traffic jams, I suppose. We could have changed that, which would be another synonym. And what we've done here is we've just said that Dubai put money into it and they have seen the result that we would like to see. And according to research, the public find the system both punctual and clean. Well, it's just a way of embellishing or expanding on the point we've just made about the investment, and we've added in a couple of other adjectives. Punctual is a nice adjective. Therefore, this is our conclusion, therefore cities should invest in quality public transport in order to reduce traffic. Beautiful. Very, very easy. If you put the work in to master the structure, but also it's not so much mastering the structure, it's getting better and quicker at using that structure to create your paragraphs. Okay, so we did a rather long paragraph there, meaning that we don't have to go quite so far on the pollution. So, the issue of air pollution is very serious in most major cities. This is caused by fumes from petrol engines. As a result, we should develop alternative fuels such as electricity. Honda, the Japanese motor company, have developed an electric car that can travel at 120 kilometers per hour for over 2,000 kilometers per charge. If governments promote such cars, the issue of pollution will end very soon. Very concise, very succinct, and it does everything. We introduce the subject, we've discussed it slightly, we've given a cause, which is fine. We've given now we've added that, we've introduced our solution. As a result, we should develop alternative fuels. And then we've given our example, which is in this case that Honda have developed an electric car. I'm not sure if Honda have developed an electric car, but it is not going to be troublesome, because nor does your examiner. And it's not about pulling the wool over the eye of the examiner, it's just that you have, most of the time when people are writing academic IELTS essays, it's because they're going on to do postgraduate studies. Well, you're not going to be writing about this particular subject, you're going to write about your own subject. And all you're showing is that you have the ability to introduce examples and support them. Okay, so that one, very nice, very succinct, 67 words. Now we need our conclusion, which is a summary of what we've said, restate the argument, and then offer a prediction or a suggestion. Okay. In conclusion, there are variations on this, how to, to summarize, to conclude, but I don't actually see the point, because you're only writing one essay. So, in conclusion, is just going to do the job. So, in conclusion, by improving the public transport in our cities and by developing alternative fuels, we will solve the problems of congestion and pollution. Beautiful. Increasing the price of petrol is not the answer to these issues. So now we've restated the initial argument statement that was given to us by the IELTS paper. And then we've offered at the end, it is predicted that over the next few years we will see an increase in electric cars and improvements in public transport. Beautiful. 57 words. So, being of the language side of the fence, I'm not particularly good at mathematics, but what do we have? We have roughly 60 here. We had 60 in the previous, so that's 120, plus 100, plus 75. So it was a little bit long, but all in all, it's a very tight essay, and it does the job. And an essay like that, if the spelling is correct, is guaranteed to get you 7.5. Guaranteed. So most people are looking for that kind of grade, that kind of band score. So yes, it's nice if you can get a 9, but it's also worth remembering that most people are probably not at that level anyway. So this is not the place to aim high and work down. This is a place to understand your level and deliver your level. Don't experiment with words and terms that you don't know. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this one. There's going to be several more on the way, and I would advise you to go and get a question of your own, break it down in the same way, and see what you can come up with by roughly copying the style we've done here and trying to use it in as many different forms of question as possible. Okay. Till the next time.